The shocking moment Roman Reigns reaches out to Jon Moxley in desperation. The world of professional wrestling has always been one of power, pride, and dominance. But nothing could have prepared us for what happened on a regular Monday Night Raw. A moment so shocking, so raw, and so emotionally charged that it will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about one of WWE's most powerful figures. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the undisputed ruler of the bloodline, was caught in a moment of pure desperation. And it wasn't just any moment. It was a phone call that would change the course of WWE history forever. What could possibly have driven the dominant Roman Reigns, a man who once controlled every aspect of WWE, to reach out to someone he hasn't spoken to in years? Someone who left WWE under bitter circumstances and has since reinvented himself as Jon Moxley. Yes, you heard that right. Roman Reigns was caught making a secret phone call to Jon Moxley. A phone call to the man he once fought alongside. To the man who left WWE in flames. This moment is far more than just a story. It's a glimpse into the unraveling of Roman Reigns, a man on the edge, seeking something from his past, perhaps even redemption. But the real question is, why? What led to this desperate call? The tribal chief's downfall. For years, Roman Reigns has been untouchable. He established the bloodline, a family dynasty that dominated WWE in a way that no other faction ever had. With the Universal Championship firmly around his waist and the backing of the Usos and Paul Heyman, Reigns had it all. He was a king. His empire stretched across WWE, and every superstar in his path was either crushed or made to kneel before him. But as every wrestling fan knows, no reign lasts forever. And cracks began to appear in Roman's empire. The very foundation he built was starting to crumble. The Usos, once loyal soldiers in his camp, began questioning his authority. The cracks in the bloodline became undeniable when Jey Uso turned his back on Roman, setting off a chain reaction that would shake the very core of the faction. And now, here we are. The tribal chief, once the undisputed ruler of WWE, is alone. The bloodline fractured. The Usos gone. Paul Heyman's influence waning. Roman has no allies left by his side. The control he once had is slipping away, and in a moment of utter vulnerability, Roman reaches for the past, calling the one man who understands what it means to be part of a brotherhood in chaos. But this isn't just any call. This is a call to Jon Moxley. The same Jon Moxley who walked away from WWE years ago, the same man who rejected Roman's vision of dominance. And yet, in this moment of desperation, Reigns finds himself picking up the phone to call Moxley, or should we say, Jey Moxley. What could Roman possibly be thinking? After years of being on top, years of sitting on the throne, did Roman really have no one else to turn to? As the phone rang, the silence in that locker room felt deafening. The weight of Roman's situation was palpable. He wasn't just the tribal chief anymore. He wasn't the king of the jungle. He was a man on the edge, about to face a crisis that he might not be able to control. We hear the phone click as Moxley answers, and the moment of silence that follows is almost unbearable. The phone call finally connects, and what happens next is even more surprising than anyone could have imagined. The usual confident, authoritative voice of Roman Reigns, the man who controls the entire WWE universe with a single glance, is nowhere to be heard. Instead, there's a hesitation in his tone. A quiet desperation. He speaks, barely above a whisper, as if trying to mask the vulnerability creeping into his voice. Act 3, the conversation. Roman Reigns, whispering, "Mox, it's me. Roman. I don't know who else to call." For a moment, there is no response. No comforting words, no promises of support. It's just silence. And in that silence, you can hear the weight of Roman's words. He doesn't know who else to turn to. This is not the tribal chief speaking to a loyal soldier. This is Roman Reigns, a man who has lost everything, reaching out for something he thought he had left behind. Roman Reigns, whispering, "I need help, Mox. I can't do this alone anymore." A shocking admission. The man who has dominated WWE for years, the man who made every opponent bow before him, is now admitting weakness. This is not a character we've seen before. Roman Reigns, the untouchable tribal chief, has become a man stripped of everything, and in this vulnerable moment, he turns to the man who once shared everything with him, his brother, Jon Moxley. Moxley's response. Jon Moxley, now the rebellious, untamed force of AEW, has clearly moved on from his days in WWE. But hearing from Roman Reigns is a reminder of the bond they once shared. The bond that, even after all these years, has not been broken. Jon Moxley, calmly, "You want help?" The same man who turned his back on everyone? Who betrayed everyone around him? Roman looks down, clearly ashamed, but his desperation is clear. There it is. The cold truth. Moxley hasn't forgotten the past. But Roman's plea is sincere. He's no longer the arrogant, untouchable champion. He's a man broken by the very empire he built. This phone call changes everything. Roman Reigns is no longer the dominant champion. The cracks in the bloodline are showing. His power is slipping away. And in his time of need, he has reached out to a man who walked away from WWE on his own terms. The question is, can Jon Moxley offer Roman the help he needs? Or is this the beginning of the end for the tribal chief? Roman Reigns might have built his empire through power and fear, but the real cost has been his relationships. Moxley is no longer that young, reckless man who stood beside Roman as they tore through WWE together. He's a man who's left that part of his life behind, a man who's forged his own path. But Roman Reigns needs him now more than ever. Jon Moxley, quietly, "I'm not the guy you knew, Roman. I've made my peace with everything, but what's it worth if you can't fix what you've broken?" Moxley's response is not one of anger, but of cold reality. He doesn't owe Roman anything. Yet, there's a sense that the bond they once shared, despite everything, still carries weight. But Roman's plea is undeniable. He's at rock bottom, and Moxley's answer could either pull him out of it or leave him to face the consequences of his own actions. The truth is, Roman Reigns might be the most powerful man in WWE, but even power has its limits. And when everything you've built begins to fall apart, the question becomes, who do you turn to? For Roman, that answer is Jon Moxley. But will Moxley be the man to save him? Or will he watch as Roman's empire crumbles completely? As Roman's story continues to unfold, the WWE Universe is left wondering, where does he go from here? Will he manage to rebuild the bloodline? Can he find redemption and strength once again, or will this call to Moxley signal the end of Roman Reigns as we know him? Roman Reigns has always been a master of control, but now, in his darkest hour, it seems even he can't escape the consequences of his actions. The WWE Universe has been turned upside down, and as Roman's empire crumbles, we are left wondering, what will happen next? Will Moxley return to help his old brother? Or will Roman be left to face the consequences of his past actions alone? What do you think? Will Roman Reigns find redemption, or has he already lost everything? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe for more updates on this shocking story.